Hello, this is Mr. Rogers, and this is part 3 of our Mammal Scratch Guide presentation that we're building. It's really cool. So in this episode, we're going to bring in a third character. I'm going to show you how to copy scripts over from one character to the next and introduce you to a new button called Broadcast. You'll see how much it will save you in trying to calculate timings and seconds. So let's get started. First of all, you need to make sure you have your two tabs open. One tab with Scratch, and the other tab would be at your classroom page. So let's make sure that's open. Okay, so now that we've got that up, now we are going to go back to Scratch, and we're going to bring in a new character. Now this character is not in the Scratch's library of sprites, where you would go to the magnifying glass. Nope, this character is something that I've uploaded to your Google Classroom. So you'll see it here, and his name, her name, is Cowley. So you click on Cowley. When you click on her here, she should appear on your screen. Do your two-finger touch, and then you just save image as. When you do that, you'll get a pop-up, and that pop-up will, mine's going to look a little different. I don't have a Chromebook, but your pop-up will say copy to clipboard, and that would be fine. Just do that, copy to clipboard. All right, after you've done that, then you can come back to Scratch, and then you're going to go to the cat. But this time we're not going to go to the magnifying glass. We're going to go all the way to the top, which says Upload Sprite. So click that. And then you'll go to where it says on the left. Again, mine's different, but yours will say Google Drive. So click on Google Drive, and you should see the Cowley PNG. Click open. Boom. Look at that cow. It's huge. Okay, so that cow's a bit big. Let's cut her down to size a touch. So I'm going to change the size number from 100 to 60. Much better. Now she looks more like a cow. Cow-sized. Because cows and bears, well, cow's a little bigger than a bear, but close enough. So here's the next steps. Now we have Cowley in. Now we just need to get her a script because you can see right now she has none. Now I'm going to show you a new way to do this. It's really handy. We're going to go to Barely, so click on Barely. And we're going to take his scripts. We're going to move his scripts over so that they go to Cowley. And we'll make some changes, but overall it will save us a lot of time and a lot of dragging and dropping of these little boxes. So let me show you how to do it. Come all the way up to the top, and there you'll see a flag. Click on the flag and hold. Sometimes I do this with two hands. I'll hold down with one hand, and then I'll just kind of move my fingers with the other. Drag it down slowly, kind of underneath the sprites, go underneath them, and then move it up underneath Cowley. You'll see her give a little shake when she's ready to receive. So see the little shake, and then let go. When you do that, it seems like it pops back. But if I click on Cowley, boom, look at that. She's got her script right there. I'm going to also go get the sound scripts. So I'm going to click on this one, do the same thing. This is really good practice. Wait for the cow to shake, and then boom. Now I have two beautiful scripts that I didn't have to write again. I will have to change the sounds, and I will have to change the text. But overall, it's really helpful. Now I'm going to introduce you to a new block. Okay? So pay attention to the sprite you're on. Right now we're on Cowley. We're going to go back to Barely to add our new awesome block. You'll see. So I'm going to click on Barely. And then in Barely at the bottom, you'll see this is the last thing that's said in the whole script. So you've got the moving here. Hello, I'm Barely. Lots of fur. Goodbye now. And that's the last thing that's in the whole presentation. And then he hides. We are going to add a new block. This block will call for the cow to appear. With Barely, remember we had to add waits so that before he appeared, we had to wait for the cat to talk. And that gets tedious because then when we do the cow, we're going to have to add 20, 30 seconds, so we have to wait for both the bear and the cat. But rather than do that, let's put in what they call a cue or a broadcast. We're going to cue the cow. So to do that, you're going to click on Events. You're going to click this block called Broadcast Message. Gonna drag it out and snap it onto the hide block. Now we're gonna change message 1 because that doesn't say anything. We're gonna drop the little arrow, make a new message, and type in the word Cowley. And press OK. Perfect. Now we can go over to Cowley. So I'm going over to Cowley. Click on Cowley. Now we can take off the flag and the weight block. So to do that, I'm going to pull off the block beneath, which is show, and that will separate. I'm also going to pull off the weight block, and that will separate. Sorry, I want this block here. That will separate them. Okay, so I can throw away these weights because I don't have to wait for Scratch and I don't have to wait for the bear. I'm going to get a broadcast. I don't have to wait for Scratch. I don't have to wait for the bear. I'm going to get a broadcast. So I'm going to throw these away. And still on the yellow events, I'm going to look for a thing that says, a block that says, when I receive Cowley. Perfect. Snap that on there and do that again when I receive Cowley. So now Cowley will not appear. She will not do anything until until the bear is finished, and that's broadcast. Okay? So that's called a broadcast. Now, with that same broadcast, we can even change the background. So let me show you how that's done. Here we go. We're going to click over here on stage, and we're going to add a new stage. Since it's a cow, I think a farm would be appropriate. So I'm going to come down to the bottom. I'm going to go to the magnifying glass. I'm going to click the stock group of screenshots or of backgrounds. And you'll see here one that's called farm. So I'm going to click on farm. Excellent. Now, that's one step. So we're going to come to backdrops here. And we're going to sort this all out a little bit. So the first backdrop here is blank. We're going to delete that. We don't need that. And this is the second backdrop that runs when we start the show. We want to keep that one. So just leave that one on. And then let's go to our code. In the code, just like with the sprites, we are going to put a stage. We're going to have the stage appear when it receives a broadcast. So it's pretty cool. Let's check that out. So we're going to come down here to events. We're still on it. When I receive Cowley, when I receive the broadcast Cowley, then I'm going to change my looks. I'm going to change my looks to switch the backdrop to farm. Okay? So that's how that works. So I'm going to press play. See how it works.
I am going to teach you about mammals. This is my friend, Barely. He is a mammal.
Hello, I'm Barely. I have lots of fur. That makes me a mammal. Goodbye now.
And now the new one. And so we'll be putting in these scripts later. And the big one about mammals is producing milk. So that would be what Cowley says. So she's doing pretty well. The stage switched. I think we need to put one more stage switch in, though. And I believe that's going to happen when I have Scratch. So I'm going to go to the Scratch script. Okay. And so since he's the first thing when he clicks the... Oh, you know what? I tell you what. We'll put it on the stage. So click on stage. And we're just going to add a new event. We're going to put in a flag. We're going to go back to show. And so we needed to switch back to the woods because that's our first scene when we start the play. So I'm going to switch backdrop back to... So it's on farm now, but we're going to switch it back to forest when we press the green flag. So now if I press the green flag... It should switch back to forest. And we're good to go.
I am going to teach you about...
So now that was on the stage. Now if I come back to Cowley, I'm going to have to come in, of course, change what she says. And I need to make some new soundtracks for her. And you could keep doing this for as long as you like. Well, thank you very much.